welcome to my channel. My name is Toyin, your home girl from Nigeria. How are you today? Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, something I value so much. It's a topic that is close to my heart because each time I'm carrying out my function as an HR, this is something I look out for. So I think my viewers should be able to identify this particular aspect of their lives as well. I mean, it would make a lot of things easier for them, especially when they are trying to apply for a role. They know what they can and they cannot do. So today's topic is going to be based on your personality and the best job for you. So I'm talking about your personality and the best job for you. Do you know your personality? They have different kinds of personalities. So many personality theories out there, that are really, that have been proven right. But for the purpose of this video, I'm not going to talk about, so many things or so many. I'm not going to discuss the main personality stories with you because that would be like it would be too academical for this video. I'm only going to touch on the important ones, and I want everyone to understand what I'm trying to say. So I will try as much as possible to simplify it as much as I can simplify it. I have grouped it under 5 different types of personality based on the personality theories we have out there, but I've been able to group everything under 5 for the purpose of this video, so it won't be too long and it will be very simple to understand. I'm going to talk about the introvert, which everyone knows about. I'm going to talk about the extrovert, which you can relate with. I'm going to talk about the organizer. I'm going to talk about the caregiver, and I'm going to talk about the industrialists, innovators, whatever you want to call them, the entrepreneurs, whatever you want to call them. And I'm believing that you'll be able to identify with one of these personalities. Now let's talk about the introvert. Apparently, we know who an introvert is. Someone who wants to be alone all the time, who wants to work for themselves, who love their privacy. Their thoughts are always private. They're very quiet. They're in a room full of people, and you hardly notice them because they are so into what they do. They are so into themselves. That's an introvert. Someone who loves privacy, who doesn't like to work in a team. You know them when you see them. They're always alone, always, wanting to do things for themselves. So if you're this kind of person and you are in a sales role, hello, what are you doing there? Selling. I would love to know how you do it. If you're an introvert and you're managing to sell, I would love to know how you do it because I don't see it happening. An introvert does not like to socialize. An introvert does not like networking. And for you to be a salesperson, for you to be an excellent customer service, these are things you have to do. There are some people that can't just relate with people. So how are you in a customer service role and you claim to be an introvert? Or how are you a salesperson and you claim to be an introvert? Or how are you a human resource person and you claim to be an introvert? I would love to know if you've been able to take out your personality when it comes to your job. Okay, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to tell you the best job for an introvert. We're going to talk about the best kind of jobs you should look into that you would do very well in for an introvert. Okay, so like I said, you don't like to work with people. You would rather work alone. You like your privacy. So being a researcher will do very well for you because being a researcher means you work 80% of the time you're working alone. You're researching, so you're into your private thoughts. You're doing your research. You will do perfectly well as a researcher. Being an investigator is something you want to look into as well. So you want to work, you could be a private investigator or a top security personnel. That's something you want to consider as well if you're an introvert. Another thing an introvert will be very good at is accounting. So are you an accountant and you're an introvert? You would agree with me that you're in the right profession, because as an accountant, you just study what you do and you're just into what you do, and you don't necessarily have to work with people. These are things that you could do. You can do accounting jobs without necessarily having a team. So if you're in that particular career line as an introvert, then you're in the right part. Being a computer programmer, I know a lot of programmers, quite a few programmers, and they are very quiet people. I could call them an introvert because they just into their programming and whatever it is they do, I program whatever it is they do with their systems, So they are always private. Personally, the ones that I know are actually introverts. So if you're a programmer and you're an introvert, then yes, you're in the right career path, because you don't necessarily have to work with anyone to be able to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. In medical personnel, doctors, yeah, I mean, it's not exclusive to them, but a lot of doctors too are introverts. Why some of them are actually very chatty and extrovert, but most of them that I know, most doctors that I've met are really reserved people, who are just quiet, and they would rather just work alone, and just scribble down their thoughts or whatever it is they want to do. So those are the kind of jobs that an introvert should look into doing. Anything that allows you to work alone. You don't necessarily have to work with people. You don't really have to network. You want to consider that as an introvert. So if you're an introvert and you're in sales department, it's time to check out. That's not the right job for you. If you're an introvert and you're handling a customer service role, I'm still wondering how you're managing to do that. I'm still wondering how you're managing to relate, and be good at what you do as a customer service person. Okay, so if you're an introvert and you're a human resource person, how do you manage to bring your team together? How do you manage to ensure that you carry out your tasks as a human resource person when you're an introvert? So as an introvert, you shouldn't be in such role. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So if you're an introvert and you're in any of these roles that I've mentioned, I would love to hear your thoughts on how it's going with you in that role. So let's talk about the extroverts. Okay, so those are the kind of people that they're into your face. They're very chatty, very sociable, very friendly. They love to network. They love to work with people. They are never alone. Those are extroverts. They are always in one function or the other. Without being told, as an extrovert, your best bet would be for you to, if you're in the sales department and you're this kind of chatty, interesting person who loves to meet people, who loves to network, who loves to make new friends, you're in a perfect role as a salesperson. Yes, if you're not making sales as an extrovert, maybe you don't have the right tools, and maybe you need to go for training, but you already have the right personality to be a great salesperson as an extrovert. Okay, so who is an extrovert? Someone who is chatty is an extrovert. Someone who expresses themselves, so you can express yourself anytime, anywhere. Someone who is friendly. Someone who finds it easy to make friends. So it's so easy for you to make friends. It's so easy for you to go somewhere and you're the life of that gathering. You could stand up anytime, anywhere to defend yourself or to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. That's an extrovert. Someone who is sociable, who loves to really mix up with people, who is comfortable with public speaking, and who is comfortable with leading group exercises. So that's an example of someone who is an extrovert. What are the kind of jobs that you could do as an extrovert? Oh yeah, I would say number one kind of job is sales. So if you're an extrovert and you're scared of selling, I think your problem could be that you don't have the right tools, and you need to have the right tools to be able to be a good salesperson. So you already have the groundwork. Having that kind of personality already gives you like an edge over everyone else. So what you need to do is get the right tools, the right training, and you're good to go as a salesperson. And selling will come so easy, because the hardest part of selling is what? Meeting with people. Trying to convince people to like whatever it is you're selling. And that comes through your personality. Before I can like what you're selling, I have to like your personality. And as an extrovert, your personality is great. You make friends easily. So if that is in place, then what you need is the right environment and the right set of tools, and you do very well as a salesperson. So I would say number one job for you to consider as an extrovert is selling. Yeah, selling, being a salesperson. Being a team leader, yes. If you are an extrovert, you would make a very good team leader, because it means that you would be able to, put smiles on the faces of your team members. You could also make a very good human resource person as an extrovert. Yes, I think extroverts make very good human resource persons, because what they do is they're able to manage a lot of things. They have a lot of emotional intelligence, necessary to be good at what they do as a human resource personnel. So basically, as a human resource personnel, you're very good if you're an extrovert. You are in the right profession as an extrovert. Another thing you want to consider as an extrovert is public relations. So public relations, if you're in that kind of role and you're an extrovert, you would do things. There are things you would do that will just come natural to you. You just need a little bit of training, and you're gonna be perfect at what you do. Another aspect is healthcare. So being a nurse, being a carer, anything healthcare, even as a doctor, if you're an extrovert, you could actually make a very good doctor, because it means that you're also adding human perspective to your job. So when your patient comes to you, they are very, you're very sociable, you're very free with them, you're very friendly, and they will feel very comfortable with you. So I think doctors who are extroverts make very good doctors. They make very fantastic doctors. Okay, I also think legal practitioners who are extroverts are also very good, because it means their clients, will be very comfortable with them. Customer service, of course. I mean, there is no extrovert person that I know who is a customer service who is struggling with their job. So the essence is doing what you love to do, that comes natural to you. That's the whole essence of having this video, so that you identify what will come naturally to you. As an extrovert, customer service role will come natural to you, because you would be so interested in people you're meeting. You will be genuinely interested in helping your customers, in getting to know your customers, and that's the groundwork for an excellent customer service role. We find out that nowadays customer service in most organizations are appalling. They are, I don't know, maybe they are not being trained or something, but we find out that nowadays, recently, customers are no longer being treated the way they should be treated. I used to, I grew up with this perception that, customers are king. But nowadays, I wonder if customers are really king, because the customer service level has dropped. So I wonder what companies are doing regarding this. Okay? Why? Because they probably put in wrong personalities in the customer service role. So, having said that, I've listed some professions that you can, take advantage of as an extrovert as well. So let's quickly look at the third point, which has to do with the organizer. So who is an organizer? Someone who loves, of course, as the name implies, someone who loves to organize, someone who is detail oriented, someone who is practical. Okay, so if you're not an introvert, you don't want to call yourself an introvert, you don't want to call yourself an extrovert, but you realize that you're detail oriented, you know how to organize things, you're attentive, you're very much attentive to details. There's some roles that are going to be very good for you. Roles like administration. You know what it means to be an administrative person. It means you have to be well organized, to be able to do that. Roles like, being a secretary, it's something you want to consider as well, because you have to know how to organize events, and how to organize, certain activities to be good at what you do. So if you're an organizer, you're detail oriented, you find out that you like to put everything in the right perspective, you want everything to be perfect, your personality, your kind of personality is considered as being an organizer. And for you, the role for you as an organizer, the role you would enjoy would be to manage anything data, anything files, anything events. Yeah, I mean, event planners are good organizers. So anything that has to do with data analysis, anything that has to do with planning, anything that has to do with structure is something you can do. If you know you're very good at, structures, you're very good at organizing events, you're very good at arranging files or documents, you're very good at keeping document in such a way that, anybody can, look into your arrangement and understand everything that's being done. It means you're an organizer. And the best job for you as an organizer is for you to be an editor, Yeah, I'm sure you're surprised to hear about that. As an organizer, you can actually make a very good editor. You can make a very good office manager. I mean, for a manager to be perfect or to be great, they have to be a very good organizer. So basically, you can be an office manager, you can be an administrative person, you can be into hospitality. So that's event planning, anything that has to do with holiday planning, event planning, weddings, and trips and all that, tourism. Those are the kind of things you should do because it means that you would be able to arrange things the proper way. Okay, an extrovert cannot be a good organizer, trust me. An introvert who wouldn't know how to organize these things properly. So that's why there is a particular personality called the organizers. Those are the people that are planners. Basically, the fourth one I want to talk about is a caregiver. So naturally, what comes to you? Are you this kind of person that gives naturally? So giving necessarily doesn't necessarily have to be with, not doesn't have to do with money. It doesn't have to be when you give out money. No, giving could be, you could be a giver naturally. You could be a time giver. You give out your time to people. You could be somebody that is very understanding, that people can rely on. A giver, you give, you find you enjoy giving back to the society. You enjoy giving back to the people around you. You enjoy teaching people. Okay, that's the criteria of people they call caregiver or the thinker. So they are caring. What are the jobs for them? Okay, you could be an extrovert and you don't really care. You're just a chatty person. You're just a friend person. Doesn't mean you care. But there are some people that are actually when you see them, when you meet them, you know this person cares. This person is a caring person. So what are the jobs for them? Without going too much into details, you know that as a caregiver, you could be a carer, yeah, a personal caregiver. You could be a nurse. As a caregiver, you would do perfectly well as a nurse because it would come naturally to you to take care of your patient. Another thing you could do is to be an administrative assistant because it means that you would support whoever your manager is. So you could be an administrative assistant. You could be an HR person. Yeah, the human resource department is made up of humans, okay? And you're supposed to be human in your nature as a human resource person. So if you're a carer, you care about people. Yes, the human resource career might just be the right one for you because it means that when issues arises, you would employ the human resource aspect to it and you'll be able to resolve those issues in such a way that will be acceptable to all involved. So what else can you do as a caregiver? You can work as a retail person. You could work in any customer service role because your customers will feel comfortable with you because they know that, oh, okay, they're speaking to a nice person. So that's the kind of job you can do as if you consider yourself as a carer, as a caregiver. You want to look at being a medical personnel. You want to look at being a nurse. You want to look at being a social carer, like you could go into personal care. You could be a social service person. You want to look at being an administrative assistant. You want to look at being a teacher. Yeah, being a teacher. You want to look at being a lecturer. As a lecturer, yeah, you can actually, if you care so much, you could actually make a very good lecturer. You can make a very good kindergarten teacher. You can make a very good high school teacher, whatever kind of teaching you want to go into. You could make a nutritionist, a great nutritionist as a caregiver because it means that you're going to be particular about your clients. So these are the kind of things you should look into if you fall into that particular personality trait. And I also want to talk about industrialists. Okay, some of us are not good at working for people. We want to invent things ourselves. We want to create things ourselves. We want to do things ourselves. So those are the industrialists, the born leaders who does not want to follow. They would rather be followed by other people. So if you're a born leader, you're somebody that wherever you are, you always take the lead. You're somebody that's you're in a place and everybody looks up to you for decision making. You're in a place and everybody looks up to you for ideas. Or you sit down and all you think about is creativity. All you think about is what next to do. All you think about is how to advance. So it means you're a born leader. As a born leader, would it be okay for you to be a follower? No. You're only going to get frustrated being a follower. Yeah, so as an industrialist, you would enjoy seeing projects, you want to go through your projects from start to finish. That is what you enjoy most. So you wouldn't want to start a project and not finish it. And you wouldn't want to start a project from the middle. So you want to start a project and finish it as an industrialist, as an entrepreneur. So those are the set of people I'm going to talk about now. They tend to be self-confident. They believe they can achieve so much alone. They are leaders anywhere they are. This kind of people, you know them because wherever they are, they just move with followers. People just follow them. They just need naturally. They don't even need trainings to be leaders. So if you're in that kind of if you have a kind of personality, what kind of jobs are good for you? Apparently, owning your business. I mean, we don't have to speak too much about that. You just have to own your business. CEO, managing director, project coordinator, business coach, mortgage bankers, lawyers, politician, an entrepreneur. So if you're in that position, there's so many things you can do, like I said, entrepreneurship, politician, as long as you can gather followers, you can do anything really. You can own your own company, be a managing director of your own company, chief executive officer of your own company, a project coordinator, a career coach, a business coach. You can practically be a whole lot of things because you're a leader. And because you're a leader, you have a bit of the extrovert factor, a bit of the introverted factor, a bit of the organizer factor. So basically, you have a bit of everything. Whatever it takes to be a leader, you have it. So if you find yourself in that position where you like to lead, please don't bother trying to get a job. Just sit inward, think about what you can do, create things for yourself, and be a leader and start your own company. You will do so well because already you have what it takes to get followership. Okay, so I hope I've been able to explain that aspect for you. And the last thing I want to talk about, the analyst. Who is an analyst? Let's talk about that. So I believe with all those points I've given you, you've been able to identify one or two things you think you're good, where you fit in this few points I've raised. So who is an analyst? An analyst is somebody that enjoys theory. So you like to analyze, you like to go into details. You want to break everything down. As an analyst, you're very detailed. You deal with facts. You all enjoy working alone, and you prefer working on complex problem, trying to sift through complex problem and try to find solution, or you're very good with a whole lot of things when it comes to trying to dive into complex issues and trying to make them less complex and for people to understand. So if you are an analyst, what are the right job for you to go into? As the name implies, engineering. Yes, if you're an analyst, you will make a very good engineer because it means you would want to get into details. Oh, why is this? I don't know how engineering works. So you want to find out, okay, why is this connected to this? And if I connect this to this, what comes out? And you'll be able to analyze things. So yes, as an analyst, you will make a great engineer because that's one factor you need to be a great engineer. You would also make a very good doctor, because as a doctor, you keep doing researches, right? You keep trying to find out, find solutions to issues. We're just trying to come out of a pandemic issue that happened, and we know the roles our doctors have played. So, but shout out to the doctors out there and the nurses and the caregivers out there, because this time around they were really very I would say I'm personally very proud of all caregivers, all doctors. They did perfectly well trying to salvage a situation that just came up without any warning. So as an analyst, you would make a good doctor. Yeah, as well. You would also make a good researcher, because apparently for you to be a good researcher, you have to be able to analyze data. You have to be able to analyze details. You have to be able to analyze content and every other thing you do to achieve or to arrive at your decision as a researcher. A military leader also, an analyst. If you're an analyst, you could make a very great military person, a leader in the military or a military personnel. Yeah, because you're always thinking, you're always trying to analyze issues, you're always very practical and factual about whatever it is you want to do. So yeah, a military leader, if you are a good analyst, you may want to consider going into that particular field. A lawyer, very important. For you to be a great lawyer who would go to the courtroom and do justice to cases, you have to know how to analyze details. You have to know how to gather your information. You have to know how to analyze them, and you have to know how to present it to the courts. And win your cases for your clients. So if you're not very good at analytical thinking and you're a lawyer, well, if there is a training that's that allows you or that can help you improve on that aspect of your career, I would advise that you go into that training, so you can be a person. But if you have it naturally, if you're naturally analytical, if you have these critical thinking abilities naturally, then you would make a fantastic lawyer, because it just means that you can analyze a whole lot of issues. You can sit down and bring details together and make sense out of something that originally wouldn't make sense. So as a lawyer, if you had that kind of person and you're into legal practitioner, then you're in a very good place to be, and you will do perfectly well. And of course, I mentioned detective before. Being a security person as an analyst is fantastic. Being a corporate strategist, these are the kind of jobs you can do. So you can be a corporate banker, you can be a strategist, you can be an economist. These are the kind of things an analyst can do. You can be a programmer, you can even be an accountant. These are things that can help you. If you have this critical thinking ability, if naturally you're able to analyze details, if you want to go into any of this career, I would advise that you go into it. And if you're already in any of this career, please try as much as possible to unearth whatever you already have. You already have this in you, inbuilt in you. All you need to do is bring them out on board and be the best you can be. Okay, so I've been able to mention like 5 different types of personality. There are other ones, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to stop here. And I hope you've been able to learn something. So please listen to my video. Pick 1 or 2 things. Find out what you think you can do best, and see if you're in the right profession. If you're not in the right profession, you want to consider, changing. It's not too late. It's never too late to be who you want to be. If you're thinking you're in the medical field and you feel, oh, I shouldn't even be in the medical field, I should move to a different kind of field, I feel I would do better in another field, it is not too late for you to switch. It is not too late for you to find something fulfilling, to do. When you're doing the thing that you love to do best, you tend to do better at it than doing something you're struggling to do. So if you're in a customer service role and you realize that you don't like it, you don't feel comfortable interacting with people, please listen to this video again and see how you can switch your career into something that would benefit you and something you'll be happy doing. Okay, so this is the end of this video for today. Thank you for listening to my video today. If you like what I have said, please click on the just destroy the like button. Let me use that word. If you like whatever I've said, please just hit on it. Hit on the like button. Hit whatever it is you want to do. Just keep liking. Subscribe to my channel. Share these videos with whoever it is you want to share with. If you feel there's somebody who needs to listen to what I have to say, please share this video. And I look forward to sharing something different with you next time. Thank you for watching my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please, before you leave, do subscribe to my channel. Have a great day.